Top stories today. Prime Minister Abiy confers with President Putin. An attempted coup is underway in the West African nation of Niger. Good morning, this is Addis News Hour. I'm Sintayo Tamarat with the news, and stay tuned. Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed and his delegation arrived in St. Petersburg Wednesday ahead of the second Russia-Africa summit. Upon his arrival, President Putin accorded the delegation a warm welcome. The Premier and President Putin held discussions on bilateral issues. During their discussion, both leaders acknowledged the long-standing and historic relations between the two countries and expressed commitment to enhance trade ties to collaborate in the field of agriculture and manufacturing industries. Prime Minister Abiy laid wreaths at the monument to historic defenders of Leningrad, honoring those fallen during the Second World War, according to the Office of the Prime Minister. The second Russia-Africa Summit and Russia-Africa Economic and Humanitarian Forum is taking place in St. Petersburg today. The events are aimed at strengthening Russian-African cooperation on all fronts. Our staff reporter Shifara Olako is in St. Petersburg and has just sent us the following on the overall preparation of the summit. Take a look.
The second Russia-Africa Summit and Economic and Humanitarian Forum is taking place here at St. Petersburg in Russia, and already representatives from virtually every nation in Africa are arriving here in Russia, and journalists from different countries across Africa are also here. And this summit is going to be one of the top conferences which will definitely beef up the bilateral and multilateral ties between Russia and Africa. And this summit will also see different areas of discussions where the relationship between Russia and virtually every African nation will be reinforced in a number of ways, be it scientifically, economically, and other areas, as Russia has developed potential knowledge and skills, especially when it comes to science and technology innovation. So this summit is going to be a huge one where the two sides will absolutely beef up their collaboration and cooperation in a number of areas to an unprecedented height. The Ethiopian Broadcasting Corporation will keep you posted in this regard from St. Petersburg here in Russia.
Foreign Minister Demeke Mekonnen said human development is the entry point to sustaining development and properly addressing inclusivity agenda. Speaking at a high-level panel discussion of the African Human Capital Heads of State Summit held from July 25 to 26 in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, Mekonnen said that it's high time to invest in people and that Africa as a rising continent should focus on and invest in human capital development. According to Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Foreign Affairs Minister took part in a high-level panel discussion about education. Demeke also reiterated the commitment of the government to effect equality, accessible, affordable, and relevant education for all citizens.
አንድ ሰው ቆርኪ ገደለ ሰው አንድ ሰው ገደለ እንደገደለ ነው እኛ ማሳባ አዋጅ ተሰጥቶ ይሄ
ቆርኪዎች ቁጥር ከ70 በታች የነበረው አሁን ላይ ከ800 በላይ ቆርኪዎች አሉ።
The U.S. Embassy in Ethiopia marked the 33rd anniversary of the Americans with Disabilities Act. The Association of Disabilities held discussion on the rights of persons with disabilities, organized in celebration. Tigist Sernesa has the following.
The U.S. Embassy, with the attendance of partners, stakeholders, and members of Ethiopian House of People's Representatives, held discussions on issues pertaining to rights of persons with disabilities while marking the 33rd anniversary of the Americans with Disabilities Act, or ADA. The event has featured both virtual and in-person speakers to share their experience in developing the ADA and to discuss the Ethiopian Draft Comprehensive Disability Proclamation. On her opening remarks, Counselor for Public Affairs at U.S. Department of State, Ruth Ann Stevens-Kitts, stressed that ADA gives civil rights protection to individuals with disabilities that are similar to those provided to individuals on the basis of race, color, gender, national origin, age, and religion.
Today we celebrate the 33rd anniversary of this landmark piece of legislation, which is a civil rights law that prohibits discrimination against individuals with disabilities in all areas of public life, including jobs, schools, transportation, and all public and private places that are open to the general public. The ADA gives civil rights protections to individuals with disabilities that are similar to those provided to individuals on the basis of race, color, sex, national origin, age, and religion. The major focus of the law is to make sure that persons with disabilities have the same rights and the same opportunities as everyone else. The law recognizes that disability rights are human rights.
She further reiterated that despite the passage of ADA law in the U.S., much more needs to be done, adding that she is pleased that Ethiopia is working to draft comprehensive disability law.
Despite the passage and implementation of the ADA law, even in the United States, much remains to be done to ensure that persons with disabilities have the same economic, social, and political rights and opportunities as everyone else. The rights of persons with disabilities is an area of shared interest between the United States and Ethiopia. As in many countries, in Ethiopia too, people with disabilities face numerous challenges, including marginalization, distress, and practical challenges in both routine daily activities and participation in broader social roles and opportunities. These experiences affect their abilities to claim many of the rights that are their birthright. I am pleased to know that Ethiopia is working to draft a comprehensive disability law. It is my hope that this law or proclamation will significantly contribute to addressing challenges that are faced by persons with disabilities across Ethiopia.
While tabling a number of issues during the discussion, a representative from United Nations Human Rights Council underscored that starting to draft the Ethiopian Comprehensive Disability Act is one vital opportunity going forward.
ኦፖርቹኒቲዎች ምንድናቸው ሲባል የድራፍት ዲዛቢሊቲ አክት መዘጋጀቱ ወይም እየተዘጋጀ መሆኑ በተወሰነ መልኩ ደግሞ የአካል ጉዳተኛ ላይ የሚሰሩ ድርጅቶችና አካል ጉዳተኛ ኦዲፒስ ማለት ነው ኦዲፒስ ካልተሳሳተ አው የነሱ ፓርቲሲፔሽን ኤክስፐርት ግሩፕ ተቋቁሞ በዛ በድራፍቲንግ ፕሮሰስ ውስጥ ማለፉ somehow በተወሰነ የራሱ ተግዳሮቶች እንዳሉ ሆኖ እሱን እንደ ኦፖርቹኒቲ ማየት እንችላለን። ኢትዮጵያ ላይ በተወሰነ መልኩ የመንግስትን ኮሚትመንት እየተሻሻለ መሆኑንም እንደ ኦፖርቹኒቲ ልናየው እንችላለን።
Virtual panelists were also sharing their best practices during the discussion held.
The Ethiopian 12th grade leaving national examination is being given in different universities in Ethiopia. The national exam is being administered in public universities to ensure the transparency and integrity of the exams. Minister of Education Branu Nega has observed the commencement of the entrance examination at Jijiga University. During his observation tour, Branu stressed that students should take the exam calmly and respect the rules and regulations. According to the Ministry of Education, more than 860,000 students have been placed for the National School Leaving Exam this year. The Ministry of Finance announced a total of $60 million for the recovery of conflict-affected areas. The Ethiopian Response Recovery Resilience for Conflict-Affected Project Steering Committee approved the budget for the 2023-24 Ethiopian fiscal year. According to the ministry, the steering committee evaluated the project's performance in 2015 Ethiopian fiscal year and discussed the work plan and budget for 2016, that is 2023-2024. The steering committee agreed on the need to enhance collaboration, ensure timely fund disbursement, monitor and evaluate the project results, and address any emerging issues while implementing the project, Ministry of Finance stated. The project has been implemented in 5 regional states of Ethiopia affected by conflict in Amhara, Afar, Tigray, Benshangul Gumuz, and Oromia.
It took 3 years to launch OEC.
Education is central.
What's the vision of OSCE?
There is no possibility for effective South-South cooperation without authentic regional integration.
How do you see the current multilateral system?
Not all multilateralisms are created equal. And unless multilateralism is governed by 3 principles, these are not possible without a common dream, a shared vision for society.
Why Ethiopia was chosen as a headquarter for OSCE?
Ethiopia and Addis Ababa is the 3rd diplomatic hub after New York and Geneva.
State Minister for Foreign Affairs Bertukan Ayano conferred with the Italian Deputy Foreign Minister Edmondo Cirelli. During the meeting, the State Minister and the Italian counterpart discussed on ways of strengthening ties between Ethiopia and Italy. Recalling the recent meetings between Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed and Giorgia Meloni, State Minister Ambassador Ayano noted that the meeting between the leaders are testaments to the fact that long-standing Ethiopia-Italy diplomatic relations are being elevated to a higher level. They also have discussed on economic cooperation and peace in the Horn of Africa. Welcome back to Business News. President of the Turkey-Africa Business Association said the association is the leading organization that focuses on establishing and strengthening of trade and investment ties between Turkey and Africa. The president highlighted that the association, known with its acronym Turkey-Africa Business Association, is serving as a bridge to open up African business to the rest of the world. Shagai Mada has the following report.
Turkey-Africa Business Association TABA has been very active since 2012 by organizing business delegations, business forums and conferences between Turkey and Africa. Talking to Investors Cafe program, President of Turkey-Africa Business Association, Fatia Kubulu, said TABA is serving as a bridge between Africa and Turkey, adding the trade volume between the two is increasing from time to time.
When TABA has first started, the trade value between Turkey and African nations was around $6 billion, and right now it is almost reaching $30 billion. So TABA has been very active, making sure that this trade volume is increasing. So every year we try to collaborate with many businesses in Turkey and in different parts of Africa, especially in the east part of Africa, to make sure that the trade volume between the two continents, especially coming out to Europe from East Africa, is more viable and more profitable for a lot of businesses. So TABA is an organization that is a bridge between Turkey and Africa. It is supported by the Turkish business community quite well.
Talking of investment opportunities, the president also stated that Ethiopia is a favorable country to invest in the manufacturing as well as textile industry among others because of the presence of air connectivity and quality labor.
One of the main reasons is, of course, being part of East Africa is quite important, but also the manufacturing capacities and the possible high quality labor that could be found in the country is a very important aspect to be considered. I see many areas to be able to be invested in Ethiopia. Of course, business environment has to be considered from an entrepreneur's perspective, but of course, when you come and invest, you look at the things that you can produce locally, and then you would be able to export to neighboring countries. That's a good start. So textile would be definitely one of them.
TABA is going to organize a business forum in Istanbul, Turkey at the end of August 2023, which could serve business people to come together and expand trade and investment ties between Turkey and Africa.
Most of the businessmen that will be coming here are probably top tier in their sector, in their countries. So they try to make sure that this event brings more business, more collaboration, and more network to everyone. Overall, we're expecting over 2,000 delegates, business delegates, to be a part of the event. We are expecting over 15,000 square meter of expo ground within the event. It's going to happen one of the largest convention and exhibition platforms area in Istanbul. It's like a congress center. So this is all happening just 2 months down the road. We do expect a good delegation from Ethiopian businesses as well.
Welcome back again, and news from the African continent. Soldiers from the Presidential Guard of Niger blockaded the presidential palace and attempted coup. Reminders of top stories. Prime Minister Abiy confers with Russian President Putin. And an attempted coup is underway in the West African nation of Niger. thank you so much for staying with me. I'm Sintayo Tamrat with this Addis News Hour. Stay blessed.